Let me now go to our last speaker, who is Sébastien Bazin. And Sébastien, I know you're going to use a PowerPoint for your presentation.
It works? Yeah, I don't have any PowerPoints, but I feel better standing up. So let me tell you at least what we're facing. I'm the chairman and CEO of a big hotel company, and we have 240,000 employees in 95 countries. If I want to summarize the last 20 years, what happened basically since 2000. Just bear with me a second. 1960, 2000, all the hotel companies in the world, Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, Intercon, Accor, were actually created in the 1960s. For 40 years in a row, we benefited from 90% of the profit pool, 10% went in the hands of traditional travel agent, of which we paid them a 10% commission. And that lasted for 40 years. Easy game with a growing industry, which is the travel and tourism industry. In 2000, what happened? Well, you had a first digital mutation, which was the online travel agencies, Booking, Expedia. They did not invented anything extraordinary. They just had a new technology, a better machine, a better equipment, far greater than what existed into the traditional travel agent. And they made it global. And we as hoteliers felt it would be wonderful because it would be easier access for the guest. 5 years later, meta search. You know all those online platforms in which you can compare pricing. You have Kayak, Trivago, TripAdvisors. And there again, we felt it was extraordinary for the guest because they can make a better choice and an easier choice. And there again, we did not react as hotel companies. And then 6 years ago, third mutation, third revolution, different nature. The first two were based on technology. The last one, it's called the sharing economy, Airbnb, where different from the first two revolutions, they decided to change the model, to invent a new sort of accommodation. You no longer go to a hotel, but you go to somebody's home. And it works. And you look at 2016, the same profit pool I talked to you about, which being 90-10 between the hoteliers and the travel agent, today is 5% for travel agent. I went down from 90% to 70%. And all those digital players, they today have 25% of the profit. And no one can say it's unfair because we could have seen it coming and we did not react. And I guarantee you, you do the exact same mathematics in 10 years. You don't have to wait another 15 years. My share will go from 70% to 50%, undoubtedly. Well, and no one's going to stop it. And I've been saying, and as chairman and CEO for the last 3 years, that no one should either say, should say that it is a threat. Yes, it is much more an opportunity than a threat as long as you decide to participate into it. As long as you decide not to be a spectator of your own environment, but to be an actor. So you need to basically participate in this growing pie going from 25 to 40% of profit. Well, now it has another implication on social issues, which is what the topic is all about. Booking.com, and I'm very friendly with them, so am I with Expedia. So my charge is not against either of the two because we partner with them. But if you pause a minute, Booking.com, which only existed for the last 20 years, has today a market cap of roughly $80 billion, which is more than all the hotel-listed companies together created 50 years ago. But much more noticeable than the market cap, because the market cap is a reflection of your growing factor. All those big listed companies, Hilton, Marriott, Starwood, Intercon, Accor, Hyatt, Choice, Wyndham, we probably have 2 million employees. They have less than 1%, 20,000. So I am a firm believer that all this new technology is extraordinary. All this new technology is enhancing quality of life. All this new technology is being sought after by the millennials because they want it, because they create it. But I'm also convinced that you're going to have more job destruction for the next 3 to 4 years than you're going to have job creation. You have a lapse of time for people to adapt to this new evolution, because companies like ours, look at all these hotel companies, we have two things they don't like to have. We are capital intensive, we are labor intensive. All the companies you can think of who did not exist 25 years ago, they don't have capital intensity, they do not want to have labor intensity, because they don't want to depend on any legislation locally that they don't understand, and they don't want to pay the price for it. And if you go one step further, it also has impact on government officials, because they also have a lot of jobs. And technology could also replace the jobs they have in their own administration. And they can't adapt to it, as much as I cannot adapt to it. So if you want to simplify it for my big company, which I endorse and I love doing what I'm doing, you basically could regroup my 240,000 people in 3 buckets. A third are extraordinary locomotives. They understand the new world, they understand the new technology, and they actually want to participate into it. And they probably could be initiators in moving things around, and probably be ahead of the game, and probably be an actor of your own environment. I have another third of my company where they understand the new world, but they do not know how to participate. They need to be trained, they're asking to be trained. They're going to be great soldiers, but they won't be locomotive. And I have 1/3 blind. They do not want to see what's going on. They do not want to be trained. They're very happy with the process they've been enjoying for the last 50 years, and you have to bring them with you, even though it's a heavy burden. Same thing in all the big administration in all the mature countries. They're facing the same 3 issues. So as much as I am pushing for new technology, I'm saying you have to adapt, which gets to one conclusion, which is the toughest part. Has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do probably with age, has to do with model. What is it that differentiates the old economy to the new economy? And I'm putting aside purposely technology. One thing, all those new companies who got created were created on a blank sheet of paper by less than 35 years old people. No legacy, no inertia, no processes, no history, no people. 100% of the old economy, we have hundreds of thousands of people, we have processes, we have inertia, and we have history and culture. The impact of those differences is the following. The new company have an horizontal organization. They share ideas. They innovate together. They speak to each other. You don't keep a secret and you move. It's called agility. All the old traditional companies, we have a vertical organization, pyramidal, hierarchy. Whomever has a secret, you keep your secret because it gives you status, it gives you power. If you don't change the old economy from vertical to horizontal, you will never be able to adapt to the new world.